What is going on, guys? The 2021 NFL Midseason Awards is here, our second annual show of the Midseason Awards, and I am joined, as I am always in Nick's Picks, with Ben. Ben, it's the halfway point of the regular season. It seems like this season is honestly flying by. So how this is going to work is we do have a few awards to give out. It's not like our awards mean anything. So if you disagree with any of our awards, feel free to comment who your pick for each award would be. But the four awards that we are going to be giving out is one is for the best team. So whoever we think is the best team, or I guess the midseason Super Bowl winner, we will head over to the most overrated team in the league. So a team that might be doing well right now, but we don't think is all that great. Then there's the most underrated team in the league, which is obviously the opposite of the most overrated team. We have the rookie of the year, which is obvious to you, who is the rookie so far of the midseason. And I know I said four awards, but there are five. We have the MVP, because I can't count. The midseason MVP. That's the obvious one, though. But how you feeling, Ben?
I'm doing, better than my team normally. So, I'm just putting on the brave face, honestly, at this point.
We are recording this on Saturday, so technically the Thursday game has already happened, but I do not have the Colts and Jets updated. It's as of the end of week 8 of the regular season. So in the AFC North, currently it is the Ravens, Bengals, Steelers, and Browns rounding out the North. We both had completely wrong here. We both had Browns, Ravens, Steelers, Bengals. We had the same exact thing. Right now, the Browns sit at the bottom of the division. We both had them at the top. The Ravens in first place. We had them in second. The Bengals, who we both had at the bottom of our divisions, sit at second place, basically tied with the Ravens for first place, just a half game behind them. But this AFC North has been, honestly, one of the better divisions so far this year. So what are you thinking about the North?
I definitely think it's probably one of the more underrated. I think both of us headed into it thinking that it was, Baltimore and Cleveland and then everyone else. Like maybe Cincy would do solid, but I don't think either of us thought Pittsburgh was going to do well. So the fact that even though Cleveland, I think, can still make the playoffs at starting right now at 4-4, it definitely is surprising. Also, at the time of this, Odell just got released, I think like yesterday or whatever. So that now it's kind of first it was like all the blames towards Beckham. Now it's like, all right, Baker. Now you have to. If you start losing, now it's on you.
The AFC South, we both had pretty much. Actually, we had the exact same here. We had the Titans, Colts, Jags, and Texans rounding out the AFC South. And this one, we had exactly correct. So far, we have the Titans, Colts, Jags, and Texans rounding out the South. I mean, really not much to say here. The Titans are clearly the best team in this division. We kind of said that from week 1, even with the addition of Julio Jones. The Colts have been slightly, I think, better than we thought they were going to be, but Jags and Texans just lackluster like we figured.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, it sucks that Derrick Henry's out for the Titans for the rest of the year, or at least, yeah, I think it's confirmed that he's out for the rest of the year. But the Colts, I kind of just, maybe it's just me with Wentz. I've never been a fan of him, not because I thought he was bad, but just kind of like, I don't understand why he was been overhyped for so long. It's like, he has the talent, I do agree with that, but at some point, you have to, like, the eye test now shows that, look, yeah, he probably has some talent, but he lacks some decision-making skills, and that's going to kill him.
The AFC East, we both had the Buffalo Bills as the best team in this division, followed by the New England Patriots, the Dolphins, and the Jets. We both had the exact same looking at it, and we were pretty much right with this one. Obviously, the Jets do right now have a better record than the Miami Dolphins, which is probably the biggest surprise in this division, how bad the Miami Dolphins have been so far this year. But the New England Patriots have been doing very well with Mac Jones leading the way, and the Buffalo Bills, I mean, we expected them to be good.
Yeah, and plus the Bills, you could argue, are one of the top teams, not the top team in the AFC, with KC falling down, and a lot of teams in the AFC is kind of like, I think Buffalo is probably the only team, at least that I can think of on top of my head, that actually knows their identity and sticks with it. Like, they know that it's Josh Allen and a solid run game and built on defense.
And the biggest surprise of the AFC, we both had the Chiefs and the Chargers as the top two teams in this league. Ben thought the Broncos were going to be third and the Raiders fourth. I had the Raiders third and the Broncos fourth. The Raiders ended up at the top of the division at the midway point of the season. The Chargers in second place. The Chiefs are in third place at 4-4 after a Monday night win against the Giants. So they move up to fourth ahead of the Denver Broncos, who had a good start to the season, but also played some really crap teams to start the year. So it really helped them out, I guess. The Raiders leading this division and the Chiefs just not having a good year. This AFC West, not at all what we thought it was going to be, other than the Chargers sitting at second place.
The Raiders, obviously there's a lot of stuff going on. If you don't know what's going on with the Raiders within the past really few days, look it up. But the Chiefs are really the surprising one. I think them not having a good or even solid defense the last couple of years is definitely catching up to them. Because, yeah, you got all these weapons on offense, but it doesn't matter if you're scoring 30 points if your defense is giving up 35.
The NFL were to end today at the midseason point, the AFC picture would look like this. The Tennessee Titans would have the number 1 seed at a 6-2 record. The Las Vegas Raiders at a number 2 seed. The winner of the AFC North, Baltimore Ravens, would have, with a 5-2 record, would have the 3rd seed. And the AFC East winner, Buffalo Bills, would have the 4th seed with also a 5-2 record. So the Raiders, Ravens, and Bills all with 5-2 record. The Bengals would have the first wild card spot at a 5-3 record. The Steelers with a 4-3 record at the 6th spot, so 2 AFC North teams getting wild card spots, and the Los Angeles Chargers getting the last playoff spot at 4-3. Some key AFC teams that we thought were going to be playoff teams, but currently would not be in the playoffs. The New England Patriots, the Cleveland Browns, the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Indianapolis Colts. So those are all teams that miss the playoffs if it were to start right now at the midway point.
Fucking wild, man, honestly.
If
you told me midway through the Chiefs not only would be 4-4, I'm like, okay, well, are they still win the division? Nope. Oh, are they still in the playoffs like as a 5th seed? Nope. I would think you're on something at that point.
So we move on to the NFC side. In this one, we start with the NFC North, and we both had the exact same thing looking at it going into the season. It was the Packers, Bears, Vikings, and Lions. And really, other than the Vikings and the Bears being flip-flop, and it's not even by much, it's by half a game, we're pretty much right on this division. The Packers are the best team in this division by a long shot. The Vikings have played a lot of close games, so I think they are deserving of that second spot, but they're only a half a game ahead of the Chicago Bears, who just really haven't figured it out yet. And the Detroit Lions, man.
I thought my team was bad. You know what's going to be funny is Atlanta plays them, I think, later this season. Watch that be Detroit's first win.
Moving on to the NFC South, we had a homer over here with Ben picking the Atlanta Falcons to finish second in this tough NFC South division. We both agreed that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were the best team in this division. Ben had the Falcons in second place. I did believe in the New Orleans Saints. I figured Jameis Winston could lead them to a second place finish in this division. I had the Falcons at third. Ben had the Saints third. And we both thought the Panthers the last place in this division. Well, right now the Bucs do sit in first place and the Saints in second. So I had those teams right. But those Falcons sitting in fourth place now after losing to the Carolina Panthers just last week. So it's... Ben.
I'm just suffering at this point. All right. I mean, obviously the Tampa, I'm not even going to go into them. They're still a favorite. The Saints, though, I still have a chance with the Saints going down because Winston's out for the season. I don't think anyone believes in Trevor Siemian or Taysom Hill.
So we go from me making fun of Ben to
you. How are those Giants doing, Mister? They'll finish second.
Who else picked their team to finish second in the division and currently?
You know what? To give us both credit, at least we're both smart enough not to put them number 1. Mine would be more stupid.
But you did pick the Washington football team to finish first in this division.
That is
followed
fair.
By the Cowboys, Giants, and Eagles. I had the Cowboys, Giants football team, Eagles, and I actually had it almost perfect if you flip the Eagles and the Giants. But I mean, it's really the Cowboys and everybody else in this division. I mean, nobody else in this division is making the playoffs by any means. So the Dallas Cowboys will probably win this division. I'll get that point, but God damn it.
Kind of it just sours your mood. Honestly.
They're not. I will say this right now. I'll say this in the midseason award. I'll make this bold prediction: the Cowboys are not winning the Super Bowl this year. They're not. It won't happen. I will look dead ass into the camera. The Cowboys are not winning the Super Bowl this season. If they win the Super Bowl, that will come back to haunt me. But
I can do you one better by saying they won't win their first matchup in the playoffs.
And lastly, in the NFC, we have the NFC West, the crapshoot that we thought it was going to be at the beginning of the season. And this is another one where Ben had the current division leader picked fourth place. But I can't harp on you too much because this was a very tough division to pick. We both did think the Rams were going to be on top of this division, and they kind of are. They're tied with the Arizona Cardinals, but the Cardinals did beat the Rams early in the season, so the Cardinals would own the number 1 seed. The 49ers are currently in third, and the Seahawks in fourth, which is exactly what I had other than the Rams and Cardinals flipped. There's not a whole lot to say other than the Cardinals have just impressed everybody this year. The Rams, we figured, were going to be at least like 7-1. I mean, that's about what I would probably say.
I kind of was like, let's just wait and see. But, obviously the rich get richer by getting Von Miller, it looks like. But, I mean, I'll talk more about the Niners later. But Seattle injuries, and then the Cardinals are very impressive, honestly.
So if the NFL were to end today and the NFC playoff picture were to happen right now, this is what it would look like. The Green Bay Packers, after beating the Arizona Cardinals last week, would take the number 1 spot in the NFC at a 7-1 record. The Cardinals would then drop to 2 with their 7-1 record. The Cowboys would get the 3rd seed with a 6-1 record, a half game over the 4th seeded Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the winner of the South. So those would be the division winners. The first wild card spot would go to the Los Angeles Rams with the 7-1 record, which is crazy that a 7-1 team is going to be a 5 seed. Saints would get the 6th seed without Jameis Winston, but with him managed to get a 5-2 record. And the Carolina Panthers, the second team out of the NFC South, getting a playoff spot. Or I'm sorry, the third team out of the NFC South getting a playoff spot with a 4-4 record, getting the 7th seed. Some key teams that would be missing the playoffs that we thought would be in the playoffs. Obviously, I thought the Giants and Ben thought Washington for the NFC East. The Seahawks would not be in, the Vikings would not be in, and the San Francisco 49ers, a very highly thought of Super Bowl contender, would not be in the playoffs.
If you think about it, whether it's between the Cardinals or the Rams, that 5th seed is going to be a terrible matchup.
Right.
That's going to be a very who's the 5th seed play? They play.
It'd be the Bucs.
The Bucs. Oof. That'd be as of right now, yeah. Tampa. Even if you switch the Rams and the Cardinals. That's a tough first round matchup for the Bucs.
Yeah, you do not want the 4 seed in the NFC. Okay, so that's it for the recap, guys, and we move on to the actual mid-season awards. Hopefully we're not already 20 minutes into this video. I'll try my best to cut that down as much as possible, guys, but it takes a lot to go through every division. But we start with the best team, and we'll go through each of these awards as quickly as possible. For me, even though they dropped to the 2nd seed and just lost to the Green Bay Packers, I do still think the Arizona Cardinals are the best team in the NFL. Why are they better than the Packers, and why are they better than some of the teams in the AFC? Well, to me, it has to do with, first of all, the strength of schedule. Going in after Week 8, the only team that had about as strong of a schedule as the Arizona Cardinals after Week 8 was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And obviously the Cardinals have a better record than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I do think that gives them the little bit of the edge over the Green Bay Packers, even though they were to beat them. They're just the better all-around team. Like, we look at the Green Bay Packers, and it's the Aaron Rodgers show. If Aaron Rodgers doesn't perform, the Green Bay Packers don't perform. But the Arizona Cardinals, they are 4th currently in the league in total offensive yards and 4th in the league in defensive yards per game allowed. So they are stacked on both sides of the ball, and to me, the most balanced team in the league. So the Arizona Cardinals, to me, the best team after the halfway point of the NFL season.
Well, mine is going to be their division rival, and that is the LA Rams. And even with the Von Miller trade or without it, I still felt the Rams, because I would argue that they are almost as or more complete than the Cardinals. They're leading in sacks. They're one of the top offenses in the league. They're one of the top defenses in the league as well. Definitely outside of Jalen Ramsey, their secondary could be better, and I will just be very honest about that. And I think the Cardinals, to your credit, are a more well-rounded secondary. But at the same time, what's the strength of that Rams team outside of that offense? It's that pass rush with you got Leonard Floyd, who's on pace to have a great year. Aaron Donald, we know what he is. And then adding Von Miller just to that alone is just a scary thought for opposing offenses. So it's just that right there. And plus, Matthew Stafford showing why he's a great quarterback and always has been, at least in my personal opinion. I know you can agree with that too. Cooper Kupp showing that he's a top wide receiver. But, I got the Rams. I think they're more complete and they have more weapons for Matthew Stafford compared to Kyler Murray. But that's just what I see. And I think overall they also have the better defense.
Okay, so we will do most overrated and underrated as basically one combined talked about award. So for me, the most overrated team so far this year in the league is the Las Vegas Raiders. They are currently in the lead in the AFC West and looking good moving on. Derek Carr, one of the leading passers in the league. And I want to start this off by basically saying I don't think Derek Carr is very overrated. No, I don't think he's like Aaron Rodgers level or something like that. But he's a franchise quarterback. He's somebody that I would want leading my team. But to me, this Las Vegas Raiders team is overrated. Now, obviously, the John Gruden thing didn't seem to affect them too much in their first couple games without him. But I do think that is going to impact them the rest of the season. I don't think they're going to have that leadership in an interim head coach. So I don't see them maintaining their division lead, and I don't see them, especially in the AFC West, which is a tough division outside of the Denver Broncos. And to me, the most underrated team in the league. Now, I know this is a bit of a stretch because they're technically at the top of their division or one of the top in their division. But to me, it's the Cincinnati Bengals. A lot of people don't think that the Cincinnati Bengals are going to maintain that top spot. And I'm here to say that, look, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, Ben said it a few times, they're one of the top few wide receiver quarterback duos in the league. There was a lot of doubt going into this season, especially about their offensive line and about how Joe Burrow would be able to come back after his injury from last season. Now, he won't win comeback player of the year because I think Dak has that pretty much locked up. But I do think that Joe Burrow does deserve some credit for what he's done this season because he's, to me, one of my more underrated players so far this season and what he's done with this team. To me, Cincinnati Bengals, the most underrated team.
My overrated team is the San Francisco 49ers. And the reason why is because Niners fans are starting to become Cowboy fans. And the reason why I say it like that is because they have a great team. Like roster-wise, talent-wise, their team should not match their record. Like in all honesty, like they have a very solid team, but they're 3-4. I don't know if Trey Lance is the answer. I think he could be. We don't know. He only played started one game, so that's still a mystery. But I haven't believed in Jimmy Garoppolo even before and during the Super Bowl run. I never believed in Jimmy Garoppolo. Now you have to look at the coach. You have to look at Kyle Shanahan saying, "Look, not only did you blow 2 Super Bowls, but if you're a top coach, or if you're saying that you're a top coach, you're an offensive guy, even if we have injuries, you should find a way to get this offense still going. If that was your namesake in 2016, 2015, 2016 with the Falcons, and they had a top offense, why aren't you doing that here with arguably better talent?" And my underrated team is the New England Patriots. And the reason why I think they're underrated is because I did not think that they would do this well with a rookie quarterback. Yes, I had them in the playoffs, but I thought it'd be more so because of their defense. And even now more so because they traded Stephon Gilmore. They don't have really a superstar or really like a namesake like type player. Like when you think of the Patriots, it's kind of like a bunch of guys, but they're still doing well. So I do think the Patriots are very underrated and a very scary team, especially if you get them in the playoffs. Belichick in the playoffs, not talking about the Rams. We talk about the Rams being possibly a 5th seed against the Bucs, or whoever ends up being the 4th seed. No matter what seed the Patriots are, that's
a tough game. The Rookie of the Year award. Now, I'm going to be a little bit of a pessimist here because, in all honesty, when we get to Ben's side of this award, I honestly agree with Ben. I do think that Ben's player is more so along the lines of the Rookie of the Year, but I'm going to be the pessimist here, and I'm going to think along the lines of the league. And unfortunately, the way the league is, MVP, Rookie of the Year, it's a quarterback award. So the best quarterback, the best rookie quarterback, and we had a huge rookie quarterback class. 5 quarterbacks drafted in the first round. And my Rookie of the Year, no, it's not Trevor Lawrence. No, it's not Trey Lance. No, it's not Zach Wilson. It's the guy drafted after all those players. It is Mac Jones of the New England Patriots. Now, he only has 9 passing touchdowns so far this season, but he's gotten the job done because he does not turn the ball over very often. Only 6 interceptions on the season. Some of those not even his fault. He does not have very good wide receivers. And we've said it a lot. This New England Patriot team just doesn't have a whole lot of talent on it. But you have Bill Belichick coaching this quarterback who is coming after Tom Brady, one of the best quarterbacks, if not the best quarterback in the league history. So big shoes to fill. Mac Jones is going in there, and he's just getting the job done. And that has always been the Patriot mindset of just do your job. He's definitely doing it. They're second in the AFC East right now, just behind the Buffalo Bills. I don't see the Patriots doing anything like super special this year. Ben is right. Maybe they could get into the playoffs and potentially upset a higher-seeded team in the AFC. But do they make a run to the AFC Championship? Do they make a run to the Super Bowl? No. But Mac Jones, I do think, is their guy moving forward. And if they can get some talent around him while Bill Belichick is still young enough to coherently talk on the sideline, then I think the New England Patriots will be fine in the next couple of years, which is scary to say because I am sick of them being fine.
I'll admit, I was a homer. I thought Kyle Pitts could do well, clearly.
It was a good pick. It's a good pick.
He could be a nominee, but I don't think he's going to win it. I thought if any quarterback was going to win it, I thought either Justin Fields if he started sooner or they made the offense better for him or Trevor Lawrence. But I'm going with who I think is just lighting it up, and that is Jamar Chase of the Cincinnati Bengals. You said it. I'm echoing it even more so now. Burrow to Jamar Chase, absolutely electric. And, I get it. I was having my doubts because in the preseason and in the minicamp, he didn't look all there. He was dropping passes. It looked like, oh, maybe this is a bad pick. I think he was 5th overall, right? I think he was a top 5 pick. And I don't know about that. And I'm holding my L. He is looking like I'm not saying he is right now, but he's looking like a top 5 wide receiver. Just stat-wise, he's catching just short slant routes and breaking tackles and going all the way. He's not just a deep threat. He's very much a complete running back. Running back, wide receiver. Good Lord. The only thing he really needs to get better at, I think, is just his route running. But if that's the one thing you have to work on, and you're going to be possibly the Rookie of the Year, you are fine.
So, guys, we are finally here. The MVP award, the midseason MVP. Who has been the best player so far in the league going into this year? And this player, really, at the beginning of this season, we weren't even sure if he was going to be on this team. For me, the best player so far this year, Aaron Rodgers of the Green Bay Packers. They started off the season, it just looked like he didn't want to be there. It didn't look like the Packers had any kind of help for him. It didn't look like there was just any kind of hope for Green Bay to have a great season this year. We knew they were going to be good. We knew that just losing 38-3 to the Saints in week 1 didn't mean that they were going to go 4-12. But we had a lot of doubts about the Green Bay Packers after week 1. And since week 1, they are 7-0 and just coming off their best win of the season against the currently, what I just said, the best team in the league, Arizona Cardinals. So Aaron Rodgers, he's only got 3 picks so far this season, and if my memory serves me correct, I could be wrong on this. I'm pretty sure he threw 2 in that first week against the New Orleans Saints. So 1 interception since week 1 of the regular season. They're arguably the number 1 team in the league. I know I said the Arizona Cardinals were, but you could argue that the Green Bay Packers are the number 1 team in the league, and that's literally just because of Aaron Rodgers, because to me, he still really doesn't have that much help. Devontae Adams, yes, He's a great number one receiver. But when you have a person like Devontae Adams, who is a number one receiver, a number one threat, but he's the clear number one in that there is a huge drop-off after him, teams double cover him. So literally Aaron Rodgers is out there with his best threat double covered, and he's got nothing. So he's managing to make it work. He's not turning the ball over, which to me is one of the best traits to have as a quarterback. It's one of the best things I look for. I mean, I know I'm a Giants fan, so I haven't been very spoiled with non-turnover quarterbacks in the last decade. But I will say that Aaron Rodgers, one of the premier quarterbacks to me in the league, because he just doesn't turn the ball over. This is not abnormal for him to have fewer than 5 interceptions for an entire season, let alone just half the season. So Aaron Rodgers, my midseason MVP.
My midseason MVP is someone that you said that will also go in probably comeback player of the year, and that is Dak Prescott. And the reason why is because he only really has one more interception than Aaron Rodgers. They're pretty close in yards, and I think Rodgers has a few more touchdowns. So pretty close when it comes to that. And the reason why I have him as my MVP is mainly because, yes, I know Cooper Rush got the win against Minnesota. Still was an ugly win. And outside of that touchdown to Amari Cooper, the Cowboys could have lost that game very easily. You know, just so happens that Kirk Cousins just doesn't do well when the lights are bright. It's just how it is, apparently. But if you take Dak Prescott off that team, you saw how it was last year. Not even just as a Giants fan, just overall. Like, you just saw that team just go absolutely just, like, had no idea. They couldn't run the ball. They couldn't do anything whatsoever. They looked like a complete disaster. Obviously, their defense, it's better than last year, so that does help. But Dak Prescott makes that offense run. He's smart with the football. He doesn't turn it over. He doesn't do too much. He kind of reminds me a lot like with Russell Wilson, where, like, he can scramble. He can run if he wants to, but he doesn't have to because he has a great O-line around him. Granted, I will say he has more weapons around him than Aaron Rodgers. I will at least give you that. But I think the fact that he still can drive down the field at any point and know that he can do whatever he needs to do to get his team to win, I think just that confidence, especially coming back from an injury, is, you know, a very key thing for me. So that's why I got him as my MVP and the only Cowboy that I can stand to talk about, because he's actually a good guy. I mean, everyone else on the Cowboys, I don't really care for.
So that is it, guys, for the mid-season awards. Before I do end the mid-season awards, there are some key players that I do want to mention that we didn't get a chance to talk a whole lot about because their team just either isn't doing a whole lot special or they just weren't good enough to win any of the awards that we talked about. But Matthew Stafford of the LA Rams has been having an absolute killer season, and we both predicted it that they were going to do great with him leading the charge. It's Trayvon Diggs, right, of the Dallas Cowboys. Trayvon Diggs of the Dallas Cowboys. Sorry, guys, I don't know defensive players all that well, but he is on pace to do what, like 20 interceptions this season. He is absolutely one of the main reasons that this Cowboy defense is any better than they were last year.
He's averaging like a pick a game.
Yeah, it's insane.
Like, that's wild.
I got to bring him up. I hate to do it, but I got to say it. Tom Brady, he's having another insanely good season. I think he was on pace for like 6,000 yards at one point, and he's like, he's
not going to get there, but he's still going to, he might lead the league in passing at 44.
He's having an insane season. I talked about the team. I talked about the team a lot, but I didn't specifically talk about the player a lot. Kyler Murray, and a few other players on this team, Chandler Jones, J.J. Watt, DeAndre Hopkins. They are absolutely killing it this season in a division where, like we said, it is just a crapshoot. And unfortunately, he should have been one of our MVPs, but he didn't get it. Derrick Henry suffered a season-ending injury. So he is out for the season, but he was on pace for like 2,000 rushing yards, and it's sad to see, but it happens every season. It happens to somebody. Fortunately,
you know what sucks is that after the Thursday night game, Jonathan Taylor had a great game. He's still not leading the league in rushing. He's still like 100 yards behind Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry almost had 1,000 yards in 7 games.
And one player from each of our teams to mention, the quarterbacks for each team. I do think Daniel Jones is probably the only reason the Giants have any wins this season. He has been proving a lot this season, but unfortunately a lot has happened around him to where he's just not been able to succeed. And Matt Ryan, it's pretty much more of the same for Matt Ryan. I do feel bad for him. He's kind of like a Matt Stafford to me. Like, I just don't feel like the Atlanta Falcons are the best team for him. But unfortunately, with his contract, no other team's going to want him, so he's stuck there. But Matt Ryan, to me, very underrated quarterback, but unfortunately, I don't see much happening.
I mean, I've said this to you before. If he wasn't making the ungodly amount, like I think he's projected like 40 because they restructured it so like his money got moved to next season. He's gonna be making like 40 million next year. No one's gonna want that. I hate to say it, but I actually would rather have Daniel Jones than Matt Ryan right now, only because of age. Only because of age, and actually he could move outside the pocket.
And that catch though, okay. But guys,
okay, no, we're not ending on that.
But guys, I hope you enjoyed the midseason awards. The next time we'll be talking like this, and it's not Nick's picks, will be the Super Bowl special. One of us will be not very happy because we will have lost the regular season a bet, so we'll be doing something bad, which we still haven't figured out by the midseason point, which is not very good. But you know, that's a staple on this channel. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the midseason awards. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If there's a player we didn't mention, a team we didn't mention that you want to give a shout out to or talk about, please drop it in the comment section below. I love hearing what you guys think about other players, teams, whatever, as long as you're not like one of those Cowboy fans that are just like, you didn't say that the Cowboys are the best team in the league. This is bullshit. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great one. Peace.
I will continue to suffer.